Hi, are you in the process of preparing for your indefinite leave to remain application? Well, in this video, I'm going to be talking about my top tips for preparing for an indefinite leave to remain application and what you should be doing in order to make sure you have a successful application to get your indefinite leave to remain in the UK.
Get strong.
Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Arjun, and on this channel we talk about the tips, tricks and hacks to survive and thrive in the UK, and I talk about my own personal experiences with different things about life in the UK. In this video, I'm going to be doing a short snapshot of, the top 4 things that you need to do in order to make sure you have a successful application in relation to your indefinite leave to remain. So preparing for your indefinite leave to remain application can be really stressful, and it's one of the major steps forward to actually becoming a naturalized UK citizen. So it's a big step forward, and you need to go through a lot of hoops in order to get here. So if you're in the process of preparing for your indefinite leave to remain, there's 4 different things that you need to absolutely consider when you're preparing, from my own personal experience. Now, before I get into it, I just want to clarify that I'm not a qualified immigration advisor. This is purely based on my own experience, because I've been through the indefinite leave to remain application. I've successfully gotten it, and all of these things actually helped me and streamline my process of applying for the indefinite leave to remain application. So I really hope they help you as well. So tip number 1 is prepare early and give yourself enough time before the application. So what I mean by this is, in order to actually apply for your indefinite leave to remain, you need a whole bunch of application documents that you need to have in advance of the actual application. So you need documentation about your education. You need to know all your travel history for the last 5 years, and there's a whole gamut of documentation that you actually need before you apply for your indefinite leave to remain. So when you're trying to get ready for your indefinite leave to remain, I recommend that you start getting this documentation ready and preparing for the indefinite leave to remain at least 1 year before the point of actually submitting the application for your indefinite leave to remain. So I personally did that, and it really helped me when I got to the indefinite leave to remain application process point, because I had all the documentation ready. I didn't have to go to anybody. It was right there in a folder. All the electronic copies of the documents were stored on my computer as well, and I could just submit all of it for my application. So I really recommend preparing at least a few months to a year in advance, and it will help you in the long term when you actually apply for the ILR application. Of course, if you're beyond that 1 year point, or you're just about to apply for your indefinite leave to remain, it's still not too late, right? You're going to start applying for your indefinite leave to remain. Get started now. Get your documentation done now. Get it all sorted together. Get a folder together. Just put all the documents that you think are relevant. Research what's required for your personal indefinite leave to remain application. Get it together and just get prepared. That's the best advice that I can give you as my top number 1 tip. Tip number 2 is submit all the relevant documentation that you possibly need for your indefinite leave to remain. So this is really important, because I personally think in the submission of your indefinite leave to remain, more is often better. So there's no actual limit on the documentation that you can submit. The actual documentation gets electronically uploaded on a third-party site. So what you can do is, rather than after you've applied and submitted your application thinking, oh my god, I could have submitted this or that, you can just submit all the relevant documentation that is applicable. So if you think 4 pay slips are better than 1, then submit it, because it's not going to do you any harm. It just gives the caseworker more evidence that you are who you are. You've got the background and backing for what you're saying is the case. In most cases, and this is actually a fact which has been stated on the Home Office website, the reason why the applications get rejected is because the documentation is insufficient. So rather than, you know, worrying about what you could have submitted. Just submit everything that's relevant and then deal with it. Obviously, just make sure it's relevant and it's not going to hamper your case. So it's something to consider case by case, but just make sure you have the relevant documentation to submit. Tip number 3 is, as I said earlier, so you're going to have to upload all of the documentation electronically on a third-party website because the process is fully privatized. So give yourself enough time to upload the documentation and prepare for the appointment before the actual date of the appointment. So one of the top things that you do not want to be doing is uploading the documents and scanning the documents the night before the appointment. That's an absolute no-no, right? What you want to be doing is you booked your appointment, let's say 3 weeks out. Get started now, start uploading the documents now. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the third-party website is very, very stringent on the file sizes of these upload documents. So they can be only of a specific file type, and they can only be of a specific file size. So let's say you're scanning your entire passport and you've got a lot of stamps on the passport for different travel reasons, and you start just, you know, scanning it and putting it into one file. That file is going to end up being really, really big, and you're going to have a nightmare trying to upload it. It will not accept that. So you're going to have to break it down into multiple, and this takes time. All of this takes time. So you don't want to be doing this the night before your appointment. So one of my key things that I would do is, as soon as you've booked your appointment, start uploading the documents onto the website. Make a checklist of what you've uploaded and what you haven't, and it will ensure that you are successful with your ILR application. So the last and final tip that I'm going to talk about is, obviously, so you've done the electronics and you've done the soft copy uploads. You're going to have to go for a physical appointment. So you're going to have to go there to the visa processing or biometrics processing center and actually give your biometrics. But one of the key things they recommend is, even though you've electronically uploaded all the documents, is you carry the originals with you. So make sure you have this file, right? This solid file, which has all your documents, you know, everything possible that you could possibly need in a central file that you've got. You know, I've got one of these huge binders, you know, that has all of my documents and my wife's documents together. They're sectioned off section by section, and I use them because whenever I need something that, you know, relates to proof of identity in the UK, I have that centrally stored. Of course, if there was a fire, then, you know, I'd lose all of it, but, you know, you've got it in a central place and you can access it if you need to. And I would recommend you take that with you to the actual appointment, because if they ask you for something, you've got it and you can just show it to them and they can scan it for you on the spot. So that's it, guys. It was a very, very short video, but I just wanted to give you guys my top 4 tips for preparing for an indefinite leave to remain application. If there's anything that I've missed on that, I'd love to get your thoughts. You know, any questions that you've got for your indefinite leave to remain application, please pop them in the section below, in the comments below, and I'll come back to you with my response as soon as possible. Also, if you like this video, please like, and do not forget to subscribe. I produce videos every week on a Sunday, so if you like them, please make sure you subscribe and you hit that notification bell, and I'll keep coming back with great content. That's it for now. See you next time.